Hello there. I am giving a workshop on April the 24th, 2021, and it's all about how to mix your own glazes from scratch. And we're also going to do a color run, which means you take a base glaze and then you test it with multiple different colorants. So those are the two main focuses of the workshop: how to mix glazes from scratch for beginners, and then how to take a base glaze and test it with multiple colorants. So I wanted to just show you, walk you through a bit of like what I have here for you when you sign up for the workshop. So the workshop is on April 24th. It's going to be delivered live, so I'll be teaching live, so you'll be able to ask questions and I'll be answering them. I'll have time set aside throughout the workshop to ask questions. And but you don't actually have to attend the workshop live, so it's all going to be recorded, and then everyone gets 3 months access to the workshop, so you can go back and watch and rewind and pause and everything. So the best way to take this workshop is going to be to just bring your notebook and your coffee or whatever you like to drink, and just hang out and watch and learn and listen and take notes and ask questions. So you don't actually need to be in your studio mixing glazes while I'm teaching the workshop. It's probably best if you just come and give your full attention to the workshop, because I'm going to pack it with as much information as I possibly can in the 3 hours that we have available. So if you just come to the workshop and just watch and learn, and then you can go and you can even order your materials afterwards. You don't have to be all ready to go and mix your glazes when the workshop starts. You can take some time after to do that. And you have 3 months to watch the video, and you can watch the video in your studio while you're mixing glazes, and you can pause and rewind and all of that. So I just wanted to show you when you sign up for the workshop. If you want to sign up, details and registration, if you go to bit.ly/glaze mixing workshop, so that's just a short link that'll get you to the registration page. And then when you sign up, the workshop itself is $57 US. And then there's also an optional live Q&A session that I'm going to be doing 2 weeks later on May the 8th. And again, you don't have to come live. There is the opportunity to pre-submit questions. So if you're watching the workshop and you have some questions, you can always submit those questions, and then I'll answer them during the Q&A session on May 8th. So the workshop itself is $57 US. The workshop plus the live Q&A is $77 US. So now I'm going to show you when you, just turning my cell phone off. When you sign up for the workshop, you're going to have access to a student dashboard. And so I've got some extra courses in here because this is my dashboard, but you're going to have mix your own glazes from scratch, and then if you join the live Q&A session, you'll have a course here. So then when you click mix your own glazes from scratch workshop, it takes you into the course itself. So here we have just a welcome module here. So the course is divided into modules, and then the modules have short individual lessons. So we've got welcome to the workshop. It's got the workshop outline, a little bit about me, and then how to ask questions. And so you can ask questions before the workshop, and then I'll try to incorporate your answers into the live workshop. And then just other ways like to ask questions before the Q&A session, and then about my free Facebook group. For any unrelated questions, you can post them in there. And then you get a workshop supply list that you can download as a PDF. And then in the course itself, it's got photographs, and so it's got all the stuff that you need to mix glazes, and then I've given photos just as examples, just of different things that you might want to use for the workshop. So just to make that really clear, and then the PDF that you download for the supply list, it doesn't have the images, so you can print it off easily. So there's the supply list. Then choosing a glaze recipe. So when you come to the workshop, you might not have a recipe in mind. I'm going to share some cone 6 glazes that you are welcome to try. If you work at a different temperature, part of the workshop will be showing you where to find glaze recipes in case you're not really sure like where to even start with that. So on here, I've given some resources for finding glaze recipes, and then some books that you could read, take out from the library, purchase if you like. These are all really good books that contain glaze recipes. Then you get access to this special document, what do all the materials do? So this is a question I get asked all the time about, like, you know, you're looking at a glaze recipe and you see all these materials. Do you even know what the function of those materials are for? And so there's a just kind of a basic lesson on what our materials do in a glaze recipe. And then when you go to the next lesson, Sue's fully stocked glaze lab, this gives you a list of every material that I keep in my glaze studio and like the quantities that I buy. So just as a suggestion, just so you can see like what I like to buy. Of course, if you live in a different country, you're going to have access to different materials. And so you'll want to find recipes that use the materials that you have access to when you start mixing and testing glazes. And so when you download this PDF, what it does is it gives you all of these materials, and then it also tells you the function, their main function, why we use them in a glaze recipe. And so that's all in the PDF, and I just left that information out of here because if you're really truly a beginner, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information that you don't really need to know. But if you have a little bit of experience, you might be super curious, like, why do we add clay to a recipe? What does Nefsi do? What do feldspars do? And so in this document, Sue's fully stocked glaze lab, maybe I can open it. I can. So here it shows you we have glass formers, primary fluxes, secondary fluxes. It shows you where all of these main components of our glazes fall on the periodic table, because it's all based on chemistry. So we have our glass formers over here, and then our fluxes are mostly on the left, except for zinc, which is over on the right. And then you've got my list of ingredients that I keep in my glaze studio. And so we've got the ingredient, the amount that I purchase at a time, and then it's got, so here, Nefsi, nepheline cyanide, contributes sodium, potassium, silica, and alumina to a glaze recipe. And you can go back up here. Sodium and potassium are primary fluxes. Silica and alumina are glass formers. Alumina is a glaze stiffener. And so you can see how what each of the materials that you're going to see on a glaze recipe, what they're contributing to the glaze. And then it's just a very basic lesson on the function of the different elements and what they do to the glaze. So some of our, silica is our main glass former, so that's what creates the glass of a glaze. And then we need fluxes to bring down the melting temperature of silica. And we've got the fluxes or categories into primary and secondary fluxes. So all of that information, if it interests you, can be found in this document here. So that is in Sue's fully stocked glaze lab, and then it also contains what the materials do. So that's the welcome module. Then we've got the workshop module, and so this is where I'll be posting the link to join the workshop. So that will be posted closer to the workshop date. And then any handouts or worksheets that I create, I'm going to be creating more handouts that are going to be relevant to mixing glazes. And so you'll be able to find those here. And then you get access to a resource vault. And the resource vault is just a collection of different resources that are relevant to this workshop. And so, for example, keep a glaze journal. What to keep track of in your glaze journal. So this is an article that I wrote that I recommend if you're going to be mixing glazes. I recommend everyone keep a glaze journal and just keep track of everything to do with mixing and firing your glazes so that you can repeat your results at a later date. So the more you keep track of, the more you can figure out what went wrong. And so I have all of these articles that I've written. I've recorded videos. All of the articles, the PDFs, the videos can be found right inside the resource vault. And so this is something, it's optional. You don't have to go through it before you take the workshop. I'm not expecting that everyone has read and watched all of this information before taking the workshop, but I'll be referring to some of these during the workshop so that you can go back and read the relevant information later. And this is just because I have a lot of free information on my website, and I don't want to spend a lot of time during our 3-hour workshop explaining things that you can go find for free on my website. So I want to just focus on new information that is going to help you get the best results with mixing glazes. So there's an article on using witness cones, finding glaze recipes, protecting your kiln shelves from runny glazes. So when you start glaze testing, it's a really good idea to have a good layer of kiln wash on your kiln shelves, because you never know when a glaze is going to run, especially if it's a glaze that you haven't tried before. And so here there's the article. You can read the article on the website. You can download it as a PDF, or you can watch me read the article in one of my ceramic storytime videos right within the course here. And so talking about calcining kaolin, bentonite, keeping glazes suspended, measuring specific gravity. So there's some demos of how to measure specific gravity. I've got a PDF that gives all the instructions with photos, and different relevant articles and videos about how to measure specific gravity. And then finally, glaze toxicity, because a lot of people have questions. And so just this is a safety lesson, and lots of resources for videos and articles that you can read and watch about glaze safety and durability. So this resource vault, there's a lot of information in there, and so you can read, watch, and learn before the workshop and get super prepared, or you can just come to the workshop, and then I will be referring back to some of these lessons if you want to learn about certain things further. And so that is what you get access to right when you sign up. And then of course the workshop will be live on April 24th. It'll be 3 hours long. We'll take a 10-minute break in the middle just to get up, stretch your legs, grab a drink of water or something. And then the recording will be available to watch for 3 months, and that's until July 24th. And so if you can't make it live to the workshop, then please, if you really want to learn this stuff, please just sign up, and then you can watch the replay. It'll be uploaded within 24 hours of the workshop, and then you'll have access to all the information. The only thing you'll miss out by not joining me live would be the ability to type questions into the comments, and then I would answer them live. So definitely join. If you don't think that you're going to need to ask questions, or if you're in a different time zone, a different part of the world, and it's the middle of the night, the workshop is going to be from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Pacific time. And so depending where you are, that could be not at a convenient time for you. So yeah, the recording will be available for 3 months afterwards. So I think that's everything. If you want to sign up, go to bit.ly, so that's bit.ly/Glaze Mixing Workshop, all one word, and that'll take you to the registration page, and then you can sign up there. So let me just let's see here. Let's see if I can go. So if you go to that link that I just mentioned, that will take you to this registration page. So there's buttons to sign up for the workshop, or the workshop plus the Q&A, little countdown timer, and then a full description of everything that you're going to learn in the workshop, and some frequently asked questions, and that is it. So I hope you'll join me on April 24th or in the replay, and let's mix some glazes and do some glaze testing, because it's my favorite thing to do ever, and I would love to teach it to you so that you can do it too. Okay, thank you for watching.